Did your insurance rates shoot up this past year? Did you see an article recently talking about how home insurance in Onslow and Pender County is going to go up 99% in the near future? If you're interested about this, please stay tuned for our interview with Jackson Kysar with Goosehead Insurance, where we're going to break down what's going on in the southeastern North Carolina insurance world. Jackson, thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
You bet, Sean. Thanks for the invite. I'm always happy to get out and talk a little insurance.
Absolutely. It's definitely a subject that I'm not 100% comfortable in. So there was recently an article that has been getting around talking about how insurance rates in the coastal areas might go up as much as 99%. I saw 71% in, Onslow and Pender County. And to be honest, it was a little interesting to just see that and try and digest it. There was not a time frame that went along with it, but I know a lot of people are wondering kind of what's happening in the insurance world around here. So are you able to talk through?
For sure. And this is something that's kind of caught social media by storm.
Right.
I'm seeing it all over the place. We're talking about it. All of us agents are talking about it in our groups. And really, Sean, what it comes down to is this is a proposal.
Okay.
So the rating bureau represents the insurance companies. Mm-hmm. And they're going to North Carolina Department of Insurance saying, hey, we want to take an increase on rate. Now, 42.4, I believe is the number, was the average of all the counties. Now, every county and every territory is different. So, like Surf City or the beach, Topsail Island, down to like Wrightsville Beach, those territories, those are 99.4. Hampstead area 71.4, I believe. I'm not going to hit these numbers exact, but those are close. So that's the proposal. Now, all those counties, averaged out, it comes to 42.4. Again, that's a proposal. So that goes to Mike Causey, who's the commissioner elected by the people, and he basically has the end say. Back in 2020, there was a request for rate increase by the rating bureau, and they requested, I think it was like 24%. It went to NCDOI, Department of Insurance, came back at just over 7%.
Okay.
So this is their initial proposal. My guess, and obviously I'm not going to put any betting on this, but my guess is they don't get it. That what's going to happen is Mike Causey's going to come back and say, hey, sorry, this ain't happening. Let's negotiate.
Okay.
Now, the reason why insurance companies are asking for that rate is because and I know a lot of people, this is a little controversial, but a lot of people are like, come on, insurance companies make money. Now, there have been storms, there have been issues across the whole United States. It affects us all as a whole. Insurance companies, like Allstate or Progressive or those companies, they're nationwide. So it does. Anything happens over on the West Coast, it is going to impact the East Coast. It's just how it is. So it's going to be interesting to see. The whole state of insurance right now is kind of crazy, but I don't think they're going to get it. I think they'll get something. How much? I ain't going to bet on it. But that's my hope. Now, did you see that article? You saw the article. There is a link on there for how the general public can get involved.
Okay.
Now, everybody has homeowners insurance. So this pertains to everybody. Go to that article. Maybe put a link in the bio.
We'll put a link, yep.
And go to there and send out an email. Something. Take action, because there are ways to take action. I did see a clip this morning with Mike Causey. he was saying that he's going to relay over all the public comment, and so far, out of the hundreds and thousands of comments he's got, not one person has been in favor of it. So surprise.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to get that 42.4, 42.2, whatever it is. But unfortunately, they're going to get something.
Sure.
It's been 4 years since they had their last increase, and so it's inevitable.
Okay, so you're thinking they'll get some increase, but people's homeowners insurance is not likely to double because in the near future.
So it may double, and here's what I want people to think about too, and it's really now's a good time to pull out that policy and look at it, because what has happened is there's maybe different reasons why your homeowner's insurance went up. For example, my homeowner's insurance, I have Orion 180, it went up substantially. One, because I had an older house, and two, they increased the replacement cost, so coverage A. So I got more coverage, and then they were also just pricing themselves out of that age of home. They have found that they like, these newer homes, so that's where they're going to rate favorably. So there is more reasons why insurance can double or increase.
Yeah.
That's one of them. So if you do have an increase, look at your coverage A. That's the first thing. It may have went from 300 to 400. They might have increased it by 33% because of increased cost of materials, labor, inflation, all that stuff. So that's something to look at.
Okay, no, that's super helpful. And if people, how long before a policy renews would it be smart to have someone review that, and is that something that you could help people with?
Oh, absolutely. So what I always recommend is anytime's a good time to look at your insurance, because the majority of the population is just like set it and forget it. They just it comes out of escrow. They don't deal with it. So anytime is a good time. If you renew in June, look at it now, because you can do a midterm change. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but you can do a midterm change, and if you're going to save $1,000 a year, whatever, it might be worth it. So anytime. But I like to tell my clients that like 30 to 60 days, as soon as you get that renewal notice in the mail, send it over to me. We'll look at it, and we go to town shopping it. We do have, as crazy as the insurance landscape is right now, we do have some good things. Some carriers that are still coming into the market that are still giving favorable rates. So it's not all doom and gloom, but there is, anytime's a good time to look at it.
Awesome. And so we work a lot of our friends and clients like investing in real estate.
Find some properties.
Yep. Yeah, you've been a few times. Thanks.
Yeah.
And can you talk through maybe any products or services that can help keep that insurance cost a little bit lower, but still protect, the investment?
Yeah, and actually, I have a really great product right now that I would say it's about 8 months old, with one of my carriers that came out with a product that covers long-term or short-term rental.
Okay.
The other thing is if it's a secondary residence, we can do a home share endorsement. So there's a few ways to look at that. But absolutely, I got product for it, and actually, the price now has been very favorable. I actually just worked with another realtor that has some investment properties. I mean, I think out of the two investment properties and their autos, we saved them like over $3,000 a year.
Wow.
So they were, and they just set it and forgot it.
Yeah.
That's just what they did. So yeah, if you do have investment properties, the other thing, Sean, I like to do is I like to sit down educate my clients.
Mm-hmm.
There are other things, and most of the time investors are like, hey, how do we keep costs low?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm totally get that. Now, there are a few things, liability umbrellas, there's a thing called a liability umbrella that every investor should have.
Can you explain what that is? Just like
so
explain it to me like I'm a third grader.
Okay, so so a liability umbrella, what it is it sheds an additional $1 million in liability coverage over all of your policies.
Okay.
Now we do get run into, if you have a policy or a house, a rental as a LLC, there's some different ways we got to go about this. But let's just say you have all of your houses in your name personally.
Mm-hmm.
So you have your house, a rental dwelling, and your autos. If you get a liability umbrella, it's going to put an additional $1 million or $2 million or $5 million, whatever that amount is, over all the policies. So one of the easiest ways for me to explain it is you're coming into work, you drift another lane, get in an accident, badly injure someone, or take someone's life. That can happen. It happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Chances of it happening to you are very slim, but it could. You're going to have a lawsuit on your hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it works. This umbrella goes above and beyond the policy limits. So if your base auto policy has $250,000 in liability coverage, you'd have $1,250,000.
Okay.
Now, you think $1 million, that's a lot of coverage. It is, but when it comes to lawsuit, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get eaten up. So, covers attorney fees, court costs, etc. The price, and again, this is just ballpark, just to explain to you how cheap it is. Someone that's got a cookie cutter life and has a home, 2 autos, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing on their record. You're looking between like $150 to $200 a year.
Oh wow.
A year.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at $15 a month. Now, if you have more exposure, so rental properties, etc., or claims, or accidents, or speeding tickets,
Mm-hmm.
that goes up. So it's anywhere from that to I've sold an umbrella policy that was like, it was a $3 million umbrella policy, and it was like $3,400 because
Mm-hmm.
they had a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
But they felt it was necessary to cover
Sure.
their wealth. Does
Very
that make
cool.
sense?
Yeah, it does.
I can get a little bit off and a little deep, but that's the bulk of it. It is anybody that's got properties, they're building wealth, they got to protect it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a cheap way to just seal everything up.
Cool. Yeah, well, thank you so much. You do a great job of explaining it to me.
I try. It can be a little it can be a little lot to digest, but it is, it's definitely something everybody needs to be aware of.
Yeah, for sure. And so if people have, additional questions, we'll put a link to your website in the notes here too. But is there a preferred method that you have for people to reach out to you, and how would they do that?
So I love when people call me.
Okay.
Because that gives me the opportunity to build some rapport with them, talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, email me, call me, text me. I'll send you a link. They can fill out a link. It'll take them through all the information that they need. However, whatever's convenient, but I do prefer to talk to people. But however, come on.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us today.
And appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm definitely not as afraid now as I was when I first read that article. If you found this video interesting or are wanting to stay up to date on what's going on in our local real estate market, please hit the subscribe button and follow us on social media. We would love to connect with you more.